Awesome. All right. It says it's now streaming live on Facebook. I never believe it. It always cuts in the middle of what I'm saying. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and get started, ladies and gentlemen. We're here at another Between the Two Stoves. It's my fake TV interview show that I'm doing here in Sacramento, talking about Sacramento people and talking about what Sacramento people are doing in the time of COVID. Okay, today I am talking to Ms. CourtneyMarx. She is here from St. John's Program for Real Change. If you have never heard of St. John's Program, this is one of those organizations where the name fits the organization. Okay, these guys are involved in real change and nothing but. I've been a longtime fan of these guys, worshiping from afar at what they do in this town. I don't want to tell you everything about it, but it's basically we are getting women, children, families into positions who are suffering from homelessness, food insecurity, job insecurity, you name it, right? And this organization is putting these people on the right path, giving them job skills. Oh, just on and on. You won't believe it. I'm going to have to bring on Ms. Courtney. Okay, Ms. CourtneyMarx. She is a pastry chef. Okay, she comes from the East Coast, not a Sacramento girl. I learned that today. Yeah, and she is, as I said, a pastry chef, but really more of a chef, right? You know, all around, right?
Yeah.
And she is also a teacher. She is a life coach. She is a probably shoulder to cry on from time to time, yes. Working through it. Courtney, you got to tell me, what is it like being doing just such awesome work in such a great town like Sacramento?
It is such a rewarding experience. It is something that I didn't know existed. It really encompasses my two passions, which is helping people and then food. So it is just the perfect fit.
Gotta love it. I mean, it really is a transformational program. It is changing lives each and every day. I have a big hole in my heart. I don't know how to say it, but just like big feels for this because I do similar work, you know, at a local corrections facility, a women's program there, and I think even a few of my gals have probably gone through your program and had a little assist from you guys as well. And I know your organization even kind of supports them during Christmas, sends them little gift bags or something, little swag bags, I think. Or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the gals told me to make sure that you guys knew that. Yeah, they love that stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, I wanted to kind of talk about, you know, before we get into the COVID thing and everything, you guys had a very nice little program going down there. Can you kind of tell people, what did it look like in the time before COVID? What did you guys do?
So before COVID, we had 2 restaurants, we had a catering operation, and then our food service as normal over at the shelter itself, which were 3 pretty large enterprises. Between the 2 restaurants, you know, we were generating quite a revenue and then also able to teach the employability skills that are necessary for our women to be successful.
Because it's ultimately a teaching operation.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Anything that we receive monetarily from our restaurants goes right back into the program to help continue education. So yeah.
Outstanding. Yeah. So how many people are involved in this? I mean, how big is your student body, say, and how big is your staff? Like, talk about like your organization a little bit.
So our organization in and of itself is pretty large. We typically have anywhere up to 240 people on campus. So that would be our women and our children. And then we have a very large...
Because I should point out, everybody, their families are with them. You guys are
yes.
encompassing all, right? Okay,
yes.
Sorry.
No,
yeah.
Absolutely. So we have our women. We run and rely on 400 volunteers every month, as well as the actual staff on hand. I think we probably have close to, don't quote me on this, but anywhere from about 80 to 100 people working on staff.
On staff. Okay, it's
Yes.
a big operation. Remember, it's 2 restaurants,
Yes.
it's catering, and your everyday
And
meals for.
that's including the actual shelter itself, as well as we have another program called CCTRP, which is for women that have 2 years or less on their sentences. We work with the state of California and the Department of Corrections. So it is a lot of different satellite locations with one main campus, if you will. Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. Gosh, I guess we kind of cross paths there, out there in the universe, don't we? A
Somewhere
little
along
bit.
the lines.
Yeah, somewhere along the line. That's great. So you mentioned all these volunteers and everything. Are they still around?
No, so we were really impacted when COVID hit, and we had to make the decision on how to keep us safe, how to keep the women and children safe, how to shelter in place and follow the social distancing and everything. We had to eliminate the volunteers coming onto campus for safety reasons, which is a huge, huge, I mean, 400 people is a lot of people. So when you close the doors on the volunteering due to safety, it made all of us realize, wow, there's a lot more that needs to get done right now.
That sounds like a gigantic hole in the operation just right there. And again, you're providing housing and, everything to these gals, toothbrushes and, toothpaste and sheets and everything, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And
it
so
was yeah, it was an adjustment. There is something I can say amongst everybody that is a part of the organization is it obviously speaks to us. We're there for a purpose. So because our hearts are in it so much, we're really willing to do whatever it takes to keep this organization up and running, and to help these women and children.
That's why I'm a big fan, because I see what you guys are doing. I just, I'm a social media guy, I see that stuff out there and I'm just like, it just makes so much sense, right? Changing lives every day. That's what you do. And it just like, yeah, it's so great. So now you're in COVID. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the adjustments you've had to make?
Yes. So COVID hit, and like I said, we had to limit, we no longer had the volunteers. So it meant with schools being closed down, with our women, losing some of their employment opportunities or being furloughed or laid off, we had so many more mouths to feed during the day, where typically we didn't have that many people on campus. So it impacted us, but it impacted childcare. It impacted transportation, just everything. We saw more of a need than we typically have to, not a need, I'm trying to think of a better way to word it. More of a challenge in our day-to-day.
That's a good way to put that. I'm over here with my mind exploding here, just like, so you lost all of this help, this volunteer help and everything. Oh, and by the way, now everyone's kind of stuck here, and it's like breakfast, lunch, and dinner for everybody. And so now we got to really ramp up even more. I can't imagine you have time for much more than that, and in a given day. I don't know how you do it all. So I would have to say, I should throw it out there, guys. This runs on money, doesn't it? It does. Is money involved in this, right? And like donations and everything.
Donations, absolutely. We rely heavily on donations. Yes.
I am, like I said, a big advocate. I actually did that dinner just recently. I did a dinner at St. John's because I appreciate what you guys do, and also it was a great opportunity for my students from the local college. I taught that catering class at a local college, and we brought them out there, and it turned out to be one of the bigger events that they had this year. They kind of had their semester cut off short, and it was really nice that they had that experience, and I was really happy we were glad to do that.
Hey, we were glad to have you.
That is so awesome. So money, right? Support the Red Door. We should throw it out there. Supportthereddoor.org. That's where if anybody has a little extra pile of gold laying around, break it out and drop it on these guys, because they're doing good work every day. We're not done yet. I want to talk some more, but I just wanted to throw that out there. first, and we'll revisit that later too. Supportthereddoor.org. I feel like a televangelist.
No.
It's funny, but
It's great.
gosh, I believe in it,
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
So just again, I want to kind of just roll through like some of the things you guys do. The housing, so it's right there on site, right? Is it
Yes.
rooms, or what's that look like? If we can talk about that.
Yeah, no, I definitely can. It's more dormitory style. So it reflects kind of like a college campus, if you will.
Okay.
So it could be, depending on how many children said person has, it could be just them and their children. It could be 2 women to a room. It just really depends on.
You got to get creative.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get in where you fit in.
And the kids are growing up on this college dorm kind of atmosphere, huh?
They are.
And it's a food program too, no less, right? So these are just going to be super children by the time they're done.
It is. And, they, it's so interesting. So they receive, we do have a daycare. We have 2 different daycare locations that the children can go to during the day while their mothers are at work, or and this is only if they're not school age children.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have, from childcare, we have mental health services.
I was going to ask about that. Yeah.
It's Mental Health Awareness Month, in case anybody was wondering.
It's mental health awareness all the time now.
Yeah,
I think.
Exactly.
I think we're past all that stigma, and
And so it is something that we really try to focus on, getting to the root of the problem. We do everything from, it's pretty much all-encompassing services. So financial help, how to have a healthy relationship, parenting classes, and then the portion that I do is the employability portion. So how can we get skills. You absolutely the vocational training that's necessary to give these women the skills that they need to provide for themselves and their families, and
also the soft skills.
Absolutely,
got to throw that too, right? Those employment soft skills, the resume, and how to get a job and how to keep the job, and all of that. Yeah,
absolutely.
I love it. I love it. This is all. It's just like the stuff I love to talk about. I love it. I hope somebody's enjoying this conversation.
I hope so too. Yes.
Let's see. So you're doing some partnerships with chefs around town. I see. So. Yeah. What's that all about?
So, well, before COVID, we had our guest chef dinner. So it is a great opportunity for our women to, get to meet all of these fantastic chefs around the area.
Networking.
Yes, absolutely. You never know who you're going to meet and where it might take you. So that's always an awesome thing that we do. We typically, I believe that we have 10 a year. And that, like I said, that was just a great opportunity for the women, and just a great opportunity all around, so that we can get other chefs from the area.
And one nice big VIP event a month, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yes. And then it's great because we also have local wineries at these events,
local music talent, right?
Yes. Yes. And then, so we usually have our guest chefs, and then 2 times a year, we have these 2 huge fundraisers. One is our Party for Change, which is in November. This year it was done by Santana Diaz and team. So I know he was on recently.
Oh, I've heard of that guy.
Right? he's definitely well known around the area. And then we have our Polo for Change, which is typically in July, or no, June, I apologize, but that is being put on the back burner for now.
As is everything, I think.
Yes. Yeah. So we are now very fortunate, because in order for us to maintain the vocational learning program, we need to have a reason to do so. So with the restaurants being closed, it was increasingly difficult to teach. We knew that we needed to prepare food and we needed to feed people. That we knew.
Right.
So but the
restaurants you're talking about, that's the plates downtown.
Yes.
Midtown, right. And the plates out there at we call it
Depot
Maker,
Park.
right?
No, Depot Park. Depot Park. So the
Depot
old
Park.
Army base. Yeah, the old Army base.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. And when, due to COVID, when we had to close those locations, and as much as we would have loved to continue doing catering, there wasn't much of a need for catering. We applied, and we are fortunate enough for the opportunity to be doing the Great Plates Delivered project with the city.
Yes,
So
yes,
that's awesome.
I've been hearing about it. Yeah, that's awesome. So are you working? There's other restaurants involved in it, and you're just one of the groups that's kind of taking part, right?
Absolutely. There's 30 other restaurants, and I would like to give a shout out to Brad Chechi and Patrick Mulvaney, because without those guys, those chefs, we would not be in the position that we're in.
They put it all together, I think.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah. And you know, what an amazing opportunity. And we are so grateful to be a part of it, because not only are we able to retain and maintain the vocational training that we do, but now we're able to give back ourselves.
Because what you're doing is you're creating all these meals. You guys are cranking it out now. You've got that opportunity, right?
And that's what you need. That is definitely what we needed. And the look on these women's faces, you know, and knowing that they get to contribute and that they're back at work, and it has just been awesome. Just all across the board, awesome.
I know that look. I even know that look from your place the few times I've been there. Yes. Yes, I see it every time, every day. And I know exactly what you're talking about. People, if you don't know what it's like to change somebody's life, you know, you just see it every day. And I got to say, though, there are people that work a lot harder at it than I do. And probably not you, but probably much harder than I do. But still, food, it's just such an easy way to reach people because it's so universal. It makes it easy, right? If I was a math teacher, it'd be a lot harder to rally folks around the flag.
Absolutely.
Even though we need that math, you know, I love math, but.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, it's the best feeling, you know, and food, we all need to eat, right? So what better way than teaching through food?
And you're not just teaching your students, you're teaching your students' children, and it's paying it forward. Those kids are going to grow up feeding theirs kids just a little bit better, maybe, right? Or knowing how to cook just a little something. I'm telling you, these kids, if they're underfoot in that kitchen all the time while you're on lockdown, they're just going to be super children.
they get to see some things, you know, and it's really, I enjoy having the kids not at school because they're adorable, and so grateful when they come through the line, you know, for their meals. And I like to think that now they know what to expect, you know. Their mothers are learning how to feed them healthy, nutritious meals. You know, that's super important to me. What is a healthy meal, you know, consist of? You know,
what is real food in the first place? Instead of these chicken McNuggets and things like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Less processed.
That's the key. And it's so simple. It's so simple.
It is, especially being here in Sacramento, you know, as you had mentioned, since I'm not from a area that has as many farms and it's a great opportunity to utilize the farm to fork to help out our local farmers, our local butchers. It's definitely a great way to benefit everybody involved.
Yes. Our food system, our local food system. We're in one of the best places in the world to be living if we are food people. I mean, it's really a great destination. So the next question, I kind of wanted to turn to education, and I wanted to ask you what is the next generation of food going to be looking at? Like, what are we thinking about telling these students? You know, what are we training them for at this point? We're having, you know, where do you see that educational pivot going?
I personally think that the educational pivot is going to go from previously, I think that we had more structured meals, more composed dishes, lots of touches. I had mentioned to you before, tweezers,
Tweezers.
you know, we all love our tweezers and love
Yes. Solid gold zircon.
yeah, you know, like the elevated fine dining. As much as I have a deep found respect for it. But what I personally think is going to happen is they need to just switch over to how can we get food to people, and how can we feed ourselves in a healthy way? And instead of spending the time to do all of the touches that we might have done in the past, now it's time to genuinely learn just, you know, how to feed ourselves again. I think it's been lost along the lines, you know, somewhere out there.
You know, that's music to my ears. Yeah,
I know.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, I love, you know, I love McFlurries, right? You know, like, but the reality of it is fast food, in my personal opinion, is why we're losing that knowledge, right? We no longer need to know because we can just get on the bus or go walk somewhere and just go in and get our food right then and there. But do we know what's really in it?
It's easy to still feel like a foodie if you're watching Food Network all the time while you're eating those Whoppers and, you know, and curly fries. But hey, yeah, I am a foodie, but you know, I'm going to splurge, you know. Yeah. And it's learn a little about cooking, and that stuff is not going to appeal to you as much. Maybe a McFlurry once in a while. But,
and we're talking on very, very rare occasion here. But I think that ultimately, the need to learn how to work not only using a recipe, you know, that's imperative right now. For example, a lot of us maybe didn't have a way to get to the store during COVID, or didn't want to go to the store during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, what do I have on hand? What can I make? Well, if you don't have the basic foundation, you're lost. You know, you might have, you know, I could look in my fridge right now and it might not be something that I would have necessarily tried. I might not have had a meal, but I can go in there and I can guarantee you that I can make something that's edible and it's going to be good and it's going to be nutritious.
I've got a little tin of salmon in there that I'm going to do something with, and I don't know what it is. I'm in quarantine, and I'm an older guy, you know, and you know, if I get this stuff, I'm going to.
That's the glory of it. So, you know, you have the skill set to open your fridge, and you know that you're going to make something delicious with that.
But I wasn't born with that. I had to learn it. But the beautiful thing is it's a simple thing to learn, actually, once you know a few of the basics. Usually people watch about 3 or 4 of my classes and they already got, you know, some new dirty words, and they can cook a little bit, and they know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about saute or chop an onion or, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, I don't measure anything. I try and keep the recipes super simple. And, you know, now we're talking about me. We got to talk.
No. I think that's no, but you just hit the nail on the head. The reality of it is it's great to be able to follow a recipe. It is, you know, it's a skill. But what I'm really looking to do in the kitchens at St. John's is teach you the skill sets that you can get in there and you can do the things that will come as second nature, right? So let's say you don't have everything in that recipe, you're going to be able to adjust because you know how to do that.
You can troubleshoot.
Yes. Troubleshooting. That's the key.
You can troubleshoot.
Yes.
Because you know why this is catching on fire because you forgot to put oil in the pan and turn on the flame and walk away.
Absolutely. I mean,
way out of that.
And I think that troubleshooting is way more valuable of a skill than me teaching you how to, julienne a carrot, you know, honestly. Like, I would like for you to have the basic knife skills, you know, absolutely. But I want them to have practical applications for what you intend to do. And something I tell everybody all the time is I don't anticipate, it's great. If these women leave and they want to be in the restaurant industry, melts my heart. Like, I absolutely love that because I clearly love it. You know, I love what I do. But if they choose to go into a different field and, you know, they've just learned how to feed themselves and their families, then I have definitely done my job.
I feel exactly the same way about my gals at the facility. You know, if they just eat better, if they just know a little bit about how to cook, how to feed themselves, this is exactly, it's like we're finishing each other's sentences. I do this all the time when I get together with other culinary instructors, people. It's just like we finish each other's sentences, but it's all good stuff. It's life-changing stuff, and it's stuff that everybody uses every day. We eat 3 times a day. I haven't written a check in 6 months. You know, but I eat 3 times a day. You know?
Yes.
You know, you were talking about other skills that we might not use. I use the first day of algebra almost every day in the kitchen, but after this first day of algebra, I don't really use much past that.
It's funny. I really, the only math that I need to use is to scale things up, right? Or to know how many, conversions and yields.
If you're teaching like the dollars and stuff, it's all that X times Y equals Z, you know, solve for Z all the time, or X if you like. X. But it's all that game right there, you know, your business, your percentages of, you know, food versus beverage and this and that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Courtney, I feel like I'm taking we are going to talk all day if they let us, but we should cut it short and I should let you get going. This was so awesome. We need to say something again about supportthereddoor.org.
Please. Any little bit helps. I know sometimes people think that you need to make a gigantic donation. $1, you know, $1 goes a long way with us.
Okay. I'm going to let you do the small donation thing, and I'll just say, let's bust out those big donations, because again, I have been just watching these guys for years out there. I see their little restaurant downtown and I see what they're doing out there, and it looks a lot like, you know, what I do, and I just love what you guys are doing. Shower them in gold, guys. I'm telling you, it's worth it.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, you get a lot of bang for your buck out of there. Yeah, out of these guys. Courtney, is there anything else?
Yeah, actually, while I have you, I would like to thank a couple of people that have helped us recently, and it would be Produce Express.
Love them. Love you guys.
Yes, please. Absolutely fantastic. V Miller Meats. We had an amazing turkey dinner a couple days ago.
Longtime friend of the show.
Watched that episode the other day. Ederays, Mountain Mike's, Stone. What is it? I apologize. Stone's Gambling Hall. They came by and fed us the other day.
Let's hear it for the gamblers. Nice.
Yeah, right. Buckhorn Grill, Shine with Purpose, and just to anybody that has ever volunteered in the past, just know that every minute that you spend within this, within that campus, you've made a difference. We genuinely appreciate it, and it means a lot to all of us.
I know you guys appreciate that, and I know you got a real tight crew down there, and it's I'm getting all misty-eyed just thinking about it. I really am. You guys are awesome. Courtney, thanks for coming and hanging out on my silly little fake TV show.
I love this TV show. It's not fake, it's real. It's real. We're all watching it.
Well, I like to think it's a little fake.
You're going places.
I don't have to have such high standards if I keep it fake, right?
If I keep it.
I'm never going pro.
Well, we'll see. You never know, right? We never know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, young lady, I love talking to you today. Thanks again, and stay strong. I send you love and support and all of that stuff.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Keep on keeping on.
The ladies.
I definitely will. I definitely will.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye.